Luke Russell, and Neko-Steamworks is the company.
Neko-Steamworks. What the word Neko? Where does that come from? That sounds like some sort of Japanese word.
It is. It stands for cat.
Cat?
Cat.
Okay, well there we go. Now I know. We're sitting here up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, in the 701 co-working space, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got an interesting little business here. It's a side business, I think it's safe to say at this point. It looks like something you'd start in a garage. It looks like an erector set that is got machines and a printer of plastic, and you're making plastic tokens for this gaming event here. And describe a little bit about what this plastic token machine is and what it is you got going.
Basically, it's a 3D printer. You get the different filaments here, run it through the nozzle. Once it gets to temperature, it'll start melting it, and it follows whatever pattern that you've got laid out from 3D modeling softwares and things like that. And it figures out what all the paths are to actually give you the final product.
And what we're looking at here is about 70% the size of a coaster, and you're doing 9 of them at one time, and it looks like something you'd see on History Channel, how modern marbles work, and it's a very behind the scenes or inside the machine look, and it looks like fishing line, except for, what's that called, the weed eater, like a weed eater line, just being fed right down. What temperature does it have to get to, and how liquid does it end up getting?
It just depends on what you're using. This is called PLA, and it's a biodegradable one. It's made from like soy, corn, things like that. This one, it gets up to melting temperature anywhere from like 190 degrees to 210 Celsius. And like they've got ones that are like carbon fiber and nylons and stuff like that go up to like 240 degrees or more. And like once it glasses, I mean it's pretty good. Like I actually blistered my finger getting like molten plastic on it, so I mean it'll get really hot.
So this is made out of soy, the plastic. So actually your plastic gaming tokens are made out of soy. Two-part question. What types of plastic can your machine do, and what are considered the premiums all the way down to the entry levels?
Well, entry levels, this, like the PLAs, and not this one. I've got a couple printers. This one can't do it, but my other printer can. It can go all the way up to nylons and carbon fibers, and like nylons making like moving parts so that they self-lubricate, and you can actually do more mechanical type stuff. Carbon fibers for like super strength. It's really good, but those eat the nozzles. Like this has a brass nozzle on it, and they've got one that's called an Olsen ruby nozzle. It actually has like a ruby in the tip so that it doesn't wear through it right away. And so like it just depends on how much you want to spend, but the carbon fibers and nylons are where it gets really expensive. So it's like $89 for 500 kilograms, and this is usually a kilo roll here, so 2.2 pounds. Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah, the carbon fibers get ridiculously expensive. So do the nylons.
So anybody can be your customer, I understand that, but do you have a niche area? How does somebody come up with the idea to say, you know what, I need something 3D printed, and in order for you to actually feel confident enough and have enough business to start a little side business like you have? I mean, where's your business coming from?
Everywhere. Like 3D printing actually only covers about 40% of my business. I do basically my main part of my business is cosplay commissions for anime conventions, sci-fi conventions, game conventions, whatever. So the last 2 years I've gotten into this, and it's become 40% of my business just because I can print things out like armor pieces or the masks and stuff like that. Like right now they're playing Overwatch, and I printed out like the soldiers. I think it's Soldier 76. I printed out his helmet and his gun and some stuff like that for people who want to cosplay him at some of the game conventions coming up. And
well, on your 8x11 flyer, you've got a skull, like a broken skull ranch type of a cattle skull that you'd find in the middle of the desert, pasture type of a thing. And you printed that, huh?
No, actually, I made that from coat hangers, plastic bags, masking tape, and like plaster wraps.
But okay, so I misunderstood that. But you have printed things like that, though, as far as
Yeah, I've printed things like that on the bed before. Usually, obviously, that's a lot bigger. Mm-hmm. So if I print something like that, I have to cut it up and then piece it back together. My main printer is undergoing an upgrade right now, though, where it's a 1 meter by 1 meter cube, so like 3 feet by 3 feet, so that I can print out like a full Stormtrooper chest plate or one of those skulls completely in one go.
Well, because right now you're limited to the size of the bed or the metal platform, and which is what? How big?
This is just under 9 inches. So I like just a hair under 9 inches all the way around, and then it goes about 10 inches up. So
yeah, it looks like actually they look like cupcakes. It looks like the size of 9 cupcakes.
Basically, yeah. So
okay, so how can people get in touch with you? How can people, if they want to know more about 3D printing or cosplay, or well, first of all, before we get into plugging your business, talk to me about the cosplay market a little bit. I brought my son to a comic book convention type of a thing, and man, everybody was dressed up. And before, like when I went as a kid, only people that got paid dressed up. Now everybody pays to dress up, so to where they hire you for different things. So talk to me about the emergence of this cosplay craze phenomenon.
Well, like up until probably I'd say around 2000-ish, it was still kind of one of those like really back of the wall kind of things where not a lot of people did it. But around 2005, it really started getting more popular here in the States to do cosplay for anime or comic books or whatever. And like a lot of people like to build their own costumes, but if they want something that they know they can't do themselves, but they want it done nicely, then they'll find people who do commissions. And like that's where like a lot of my business comes from. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing this not professionally since, I don't know, probably like 2000, 2001. And then like around 2008 is when I actually established a real business for it. So Neko-Steamworks. Yeah, Neko-Steamworks. I'm still learning some of the language barriers here. How can people get in touch with you? Right now, I'm just getting ready to put up a website because like I rebranded my business name. But the website is going to be Neko-Steam.works. I grabbed a custom end tag there, so it all flows together, sure. Easy to remember. Otherwise, like Facebook, they can find me on Facebook under Neko-Steamworks group there, and yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah.